Hey everyone, welcome to Mediumship by Picasso. My name is Picasso Roberts, and I want to say thanks so much for taking the time to stop by and have a look at my videos. Please, if you're going to be here for a minute, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done it. And please feel free to share. It's a good idea to get messages out into the world that are of meaning. And I try to make sure that whatever's coming through for the message for the week or whatever, it has a good meaning behind it. It has a good message. That's between what I want to bring forward and when I connect with spirit and what they want me to bring forward. Sometimes a lot of me comes out in this, and when I check in with spirit and ask, can I really say that? Do you want me to go there? Or, what's the deal here? And yeah, I got the thumbs up. This week, we're going to talk about boundaries and what's right and what's wrong. So I've seen entirely too many things in my lifetime, too many situations, and have experienced firsthand situations where people have just stinking crossed the line. And I've had it. I'm just done with people doing that. I experienced that this week or this past week with a coworker, a colleague that an old man decided that he needed to comment on her physical appearance, and it was so overtly inappropriate and uncalled for and disgusting, and that person had no right to do that. Now, out of respect for my colleague, I was unable to do anything about it because she didn't want me to. And I'm okay with that. I respect that. He didn't do it to me, and it's a good damn thing he didn't do it to me. But I recognize the discomfort and uneasiness in a laugh about a situation that's inappropriate. It's kind of our go-to. We try to laugh something off when we've been treated a certain way, and I recognized that straight away. The problem in a situation like this is that while I'm not a supervisor or a person in charge of that environment, the person who was in charge of that environment did nothing. Nothing. She did nothing. I was so not okay with that. But again, out of respect for my colleague, I wasn't able to do anything. So I want to reach out to everybody that's watching, and I want you to share. And I want you to know that no matter where you come from or what you do for a living or the people you're around or what audience you sit in, you never, ever need to tolerate offensive, inappropriate, unasked for comments and or abuse of any way, of any shape, of any form. If you are a witness to these kinds of things, please speak up. Please let somebody know that things are happening that are not okay, that are inappropriate, that are offensive. And let it be known to the offender that it's it's unacceptable. And I need to tell you that it starts with words. It'll start with words. And then when the words aren't enough for that person, then it starts with a touch, with a lean in, with an action. When they find the ability to push the envelope is so easy, they take it further. And at some point, people have to stop them. And I'm asking you, when you see this happening, please step up and take up for the person who was on the receiving end of the verbal comments or the offensive language or whatever it is that that's happening. There's a difference between what's right and what's wrong, and that's not okay. It's not okay. And if you're a person in charge and you have employees going through this and being on the receiving end of this kind of thing, it is your job to do something about it. It is your job to document it. It is your job to make note that this guest or this client or this customer did this thing and it's not okay. And it's important for you to document it so that when it becomes an ongoing or a persistent issue, there is a record of it so that at some point it can be stopped. If you don't say anything or don't stand up for people who can't stand up for themselves or who think they don't need to step up for themselves or who aren't sure how to handle that situation, it is your job to do that if you're a supervisor in an employee-employer situation. So get your shit together and step it up. Take care of the people around you. It's not okay to allow that kind of thing to happen. I documented what I could as a colleague, not naming names at all, but important that people understand that thing happened and things were said, and on any level, it's not okay. So I want to talk about boundaries and how it's okay to set a boundary with a paying guest, with a paying client, and also with spirit. So I had another situation happen this week where spirit came through very loud and clear for somebody who I work with and during my day job. And I do not have permission from that particular colleague to step in and give that message. So in a situation like this, when spirit is really in your face about making contact with this person, about getting this message through, all you can do in certain situations is ask for guidance on how to handle it. Ask for me in my situation. I talk with spirit and I let this particular spirit know that that person is not receptive to receiving a message, that there is still healing going on, and that it's not okay for me to just blurt out a message. It's not okay. You have to be really careful about doing something like that. And I know that there are people out there, there are mediums out there who do that, and I find it unethical. I find it inappropriate, and just plain not okay. Not everybody's ready. And I always ask for, when I'm asking for that, for the guidance on what to do in that situation, I have to be okay with not stepping forward and not giving that message. I have to be okay with that. As much as I want to be of service to spirit and to that person, I have to be respectful of their boundaries, of their healing time. And that was a hard one this week. But I did a little, had a conversation with spirit, and I said a little prayer and just said, look, when the time is right, please allow that to happen gracefully and astutely, so that when everybody is ready, that it all comes into alignment. And I'm happy to help. I'm happy to be of service in those situations. In that situation, I'm not going to be the one to blurt a message out to somebody that's not ready. Just not going to do it. I'm sorry, Spirit. I know that it can be very frustrating. The other thing is, this week I want to talk about, along those same lines of Spirit and, people around you. There's a kind of a fine line when you're trying to connect for somebody who's going through something, when their loved one is going through something. You don't want to be invasive. Everything has to happen in divine time. You can, for me, I try to trust my instincts, trust my gut, and trust what I hear. And it's sometimes it's a fine line, because you want to help the person that is going through the waiting. Is my loved one going to be okay? Are they going to survive this? In those moments where a soul is teetering on, am I going to stay? Am I going to go? Situation, it's not for me to be the one to say, oh yeah, they're ready to go, or oh yeah, no, they're going to stay. Oh, it's not my job. That is the job of that soul, to follow the will of their journey and the guidance from their source, from God. It is not for me to step in and be overly invasive. So I'll go to a certain point and then I have to step back. And I hope and pray that is the right thing to do. It feels right, so it's what I'm doing. But understand that feeling of desperation, I get it. I totally get it. I've been there in the end of days for, many people. Well, not many people, but in situations where all the family is around and that person is ready to go and they're on their last moment. And typically those situations, I've been there supposedly for the person that's dying, and making that transition, but it's really not for them. I was really there for the family members who were around the person who was transitioning. It's hard. It's very, very difficult to watch somebody you love making that transition of letting go. But I would like to say, please remember that it's their journey, and allow them that journey to the best of your ability. Just embrace them with all the loving strength that you can, all the loving support that you can, and honor who they are and whatever decision they make, whether it's to stay or whether it's to go. And that goes for somebody who is 95 or somebody who's, 10 or 12 or 20 or 45. It doesn't matter. Allow that soul to make those decisions and be there in support is really the best thing, in my opinion. I would ask you at this point to talk to me about, please put in the comment section. Talk to me about what you think about this. If you are somebody who's going through similar situations where you have somebody who is sick, who's around you, who's going through some troubled times, and you want to be so helpful, that you're asking readers and healers, what do they need to do? Well, let them do it, is what I say. But what do you think? What do you feel? What do you believe? What do you see as right or wrong? I'm anxious to see what you guys think. So, it's hard to be on this end of things. And it's, knowing that it's a difficult time for, certain people. And, but it'd be interesting to see, what it is that you think. All right. Boundaries. Yeah, with spirit. Oh, yeah. Okay, there's one more thing that I'd like to talk about this week. So this I want to send out to my fellow colleagues who are readers out there and healers and all of that. So I want to talk about how to best handle when your client is in a desperate situation and in desperate need for information, a desperate need for a reading. I just have one question. I just have two questions. I need just a minute. What I would say to the clients out there and the people who are asking for readings out there, please be respectful of your readers. Please be respectful of your healers. That we don't always work that way. We don't always work that way. If you've received a reading from somebody and for some reason you need a follow-up reading, step back and let it all soak in instead of chasing the next reading, instead of chasing the what ifs or should I's or what do I do about the next thing. Live your damn life. Don't chase after psychics and mediums to give you the guidance for every single stinking step of your life. Look, this is my business, and I'm not saying don't get help with spiritual guidance. Get the help, but don't forget to live. Don't forget to step back and let it all soak in and filter it out, feel it out, and make sure that whatever came through is okay for you. Don't go chasing after readers. Get the information, get your questions answered, and then step back. And please be respectful of your psychic or your medium or your healer. This is how they make their living for the most part, most of us. And we are trained. We value our time and how we get to where we get the information for you. It is a value. And to say, I just have one question, well, it doesn't work that way. Please don't do that. And I've been there. Trust me. I've been in desperate situations. And God, I just needed help. Just somebody give me answers. And ultimately, those answers are within. They're inside of you. So you need to look inside first And then if you need help, okay, I understand. Let's see what we can find out. But you cannot chase reader after reader after reader after reader. People will just take your money. They'll just take your money. And I had a situation recently where I have a client, great client, read for that client and that client's other person, and then had a follow-up. But then that client wanted another, and recently reached out for, I have one question. No, that's not how I work. Does it make me any better than the next person? No. Boundaries. I have set boundaries for myself with spirit and how I want to operate. And I'm sticking with that. And it would behoove you as people who are getting readings out there to pay attention to that. People that just want to throw answers out for you, right or wrong. Think about what it is that's happening, and don't forget to live your life. And go internally, look inside to make sure that the things that you're asking about aren't already there, and then trusting what you're hearing and trusting what you're feeling and trusting your own guides and paying attention to that. I'm not saying don't use us. Please, this is how I make my living. Use me. Call on me for your reading. But I'm responsible with how things work. And I'm really at the very beginning of my career with this, and I don't want to start bad habits in the beginning of this. And I know that there are people out there who've been doing it their whole life, and, they can do a quick answer or a quick this or quick that, but that's not for me. And so I would just say, be mindful about what it is that you're asking people for, and be mindful about boundaries, respecting the boundaries of the reader and respecting boundaries for yourself, All right, I'm going to jump off the soapbox, and I don't know, it was just a crazy week with stuff like that. It's like, stinking raunchy, wrinkled old fuddy-duddies saying inappropriate things, and, clients asking for too much, and, just people not doing the right thing. And I hate that. I hate it. When you have a choice, you could do the right thing, you could do the wrong thing. Why are you doing the wrong thing? It doesn't make a bit of sense, It doesn't make a damn bit of sense. So anyway, all right. I'm going to pull a couple of cards. This is from the John Holland deck, the Spirit Messages. Love this deck. This was given to me by my friend Sam out in California. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate you. All right. Let's see. What's up for the week? I'm going to push this back for a second. Okay. Two came out. So let me bring this. I'll bring this back up. So the first one that popped out is embrace the moment. And how cool that little rainbow is. It reminds me, this is Pride Month. So to all of the LGBTQ community, this is your month. I hope you embrace that. They're talking about here, embrace the moment. Let me see. Take things in stride is what I'm hearing. So take things in stride with what's happening in your day-to-day. Don't get too wound up, unlike me. Oh, I just blew off a whole bunch of smoke. But they're saying take things in stride. Embrace the moment. I'm getting little pains on my chest. So don't let don't allow people to hurt your heart. Embrace the goodness in each moment and taking all the positives out of the things that are going on, taking all the goodness and then leaving the rest aside. Embrace the moment. Picking out the pearls, right? Picking out the pearls of all the good things that happen, all the things that happen in a day. You pick out the pearls. Yeah. Okay. And the second card is find your center. Your world out, find your center. Whoop. Hello. It's an interesting looking card. Find your center. Your outside world is a reflection and a manifestation of what's going on inside you at the time. When the outside world becomes so hectic and stressful that your anxiety starts to overwhelm you, then this is an ideal moment to stop and ask, when is the last time I checked in with myself? So speaking on that, taking a moment, I always like to I go with 3. So 3 deep breaths or 3 seconds or 3 whatever. There's something about the number 3 that's really good. 3 choices. They say 3 choices. There's always 3. Pick the one that's good for you. Pick the one that's right for you. Pick the one that grounds you. Pick the one that will keep you balanced. The one that will keep you balanced. Find a way to put yourself forward, to put yourself first, and finding your balance, centering yourself, taking the moment to do that for yourself is really important. And, sometimes that means stepping outside and taking a fresh breath of air. Sometimes that means stepping inside and, cooling off and taking a breath of air. Really, to me, it seems like breath is very, very important in this situations. In most situations, giving us a chance to think before we act or center so that we don't take a hard hit at what's coming at us. So this week, don't forget, I want to talk about what's important to you. So we have these cards that we just pulled and, talking about balance. I was just talking about boundaries and, standing up and, step up if you see something and, do what's right rather than what's wrong. Step up for the underdog. Imagine you being in that person's situation and, stepping up for the underdog. Don't get yourself in trouble, but just be mindful, right? Pay attention to your surroundings, be mindful. And also respect the wishes of the person that is having difficulties. It's important to do that. So listen, it's been a weird week, but this is just the human experience. It gets weird and then it gets smooth and then it gets weird again. And, right now it's just all over the map. But anyway, that's going to do it for me this week. I appreciate you all. I appreciate Spirit being there for the moment and keeping me safe to and from work and, keeping situations sort of interesting, to say the least. Anyway, I wish you all the best. Please be safe out there. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And please share these videos. If you're interested in having a reading with me, please do. Book me. You can buy a session for somebody else if you want to do that. You could do gifts, certificate, something like that. Whatever you want to do is okay. Look, I'm doing the best that I can in order to keep this going and to be there for you guys, just as somebody else out there trying to do the right thing and trying to pay attention to what's happening. Let's try to keep that vibe up and be good. Don't be bad. I don't have bail money. I can't get you out. So, all right, everybody. I will see you soon, hopefully. And peace.